Nobody is saying that the governor is guilty. And I will never want to persuade you to see it from that perspective. The point the people of Kirinyaga are asking is, please don't make this place look like what in 1989, April, one person said that decency has been thrown out of the house. We want to start by the words of the late Vice President of this Republic, the Honorable Professor Saitoti, where on 18th March 2002, he stood up and said that there comes a time when the nation is bigger than an individual. And he went further and said, there also comes a time when an individual will be called to make a personal decision. I don't want to dwell into the issues that have been undergoing since this issue came into the Senate. But I can tell you, we are no fools. We did not come to Nairobi the other day. We know what has been happening. That one you can take to the bank.
Senator Ndwiga, continue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, that argument is, and like Senator Junior says, I was the chair. I was privileged by this House to chair the Committee on Samboja. And it is true, Mr. Speaker, that if the committee finds there is no incriminating evidence against the governor, that's the end of the matter. Mr. Speaker, and that is why Kirinyaga people are crying out to this House. Mr. Speaker, I am not saying that there will be no justice if the matter goes to the committee. But Mr. Speaker, justice is done. But justice should be seen to be done. And that's what the people of Kirinyaga expect. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, those of us here, we have a lot of respect for the senators who've been appointed to this committee. But Mr. Speaker, the people of Kirinyaga, and by the way, the people of Kenya, throughout this republic, are waiting to hear the verdict of this House, which way this House goes. And Mr. Speaker, I want to advise the political players, particularly the party leaders, watch out. This space, Mr. Speaker, is not as steady as you think. It is very slippery. 2 years down the road, we will need the people. And 2 years down the road, Mr. Speaker, Kirinyaga people are unlikely to forget what you did to them if you don't go the way they want.
Mr. Speaker, we are not seeking vengeance, we're seeking justice. So justice has got two sides. The people of Kirinyaga have got their expectations. But the issue before the Senate is not about what is being said out there. The issue before the Senate is what is being presented before the Senate. Facts are stubborn. Now, we may as well go and have a baraza in Kirinyaga. That is an alternative. But our rules say we must stick here.
It's on a point of order.
Mr. Speaker, I think we should raise this. I'm really surprised that even Senator Mutula would fall into the same trap. I would have expected, Mr. Speaker, him to appreciate further because we've been here longer. Mr. Speaker, Section 33 of the County Government Act, which Mr. Speaker I was privileged to participate in its drafting, provides that, Mr. Speaker, in section 33(5), if the special committee reports that the particulars of an allegation against the governor have not been substantiated, further proceedings shall not be taken under this section in respect of the allegation or in respect to the allegations. So, Mr. Speaker, you are correct, you are right. We must tell the public the reason why there is a clamor here between whether it's the plenary or whether it's the rest of the House is because the senators who are here know very well that if a committee is chosen and for whatever reason they go and clear the governor, That is the end of the matter. It will never come back to this house. And the reason why the people of Kirinyaga are crying that let it come to the house is because they are saying instead of subjecting it to 11 senators to make that very important decision, they want the 67 senators to make that decision. That's all.
I'm going to stand here and say, Mr. Speaker, that the issue of Kirinyaga pales in the shadow of the issues that Senator Dulo and Senator Wetangula are handling on the medical leasing. Have we accused them of corruption?
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
The report has not been issued. Mr. Speaker.
What's your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, Senator Mutula Kilonzo Jr. must, Mr. Speaker, stick to the standing orders. This House, Mr. Speaker, under Standing Order 96, if you make an allegation, you must substantiate. And Mr. Speaker, it is clear from your rulings and also from the standing orders, you cannot import social media videos, newspaper cuttings, and Mr. Speaker, come and make them as, Mr. Speaker, absolute truth here. You either substantiate or you withdraw and apologize.
Yes, Senator Mutula.
There's nothing to withdraw. Please, let's ignore Senator Murkomen for Mr. Speaker, that video, if Mr. Murkomen, who is so famous for posting all sorts of things on our platform, needs substantiation, he should go to the platform. That video is on the platform. I'm not going to substantiate anything. It's there.
What's your point of order, Senator Cheruiyot?
It's really unfortunate if you allow this to happen. You're the Speaker, you preside over this House. If you allow the kind of exchanges that Senator Mutula want to push and bandy around in this House, where he responds to a member and says, even if Standing Order number 96 demands that I substantiate, I'm not going to do it, that there is no basis for anybody rising against him, you're setting a very dangerous precedent. Senator James Orengo, Mr. Speaker, raised a very important issue, which I had hoped that perhaps you'll give us a ruling on. That for every time that people, that senators rise on points of order, they will state the particular standing order in which the member who's on the floor has violated. Senator Murkomen, in compliance with that, has set a precedent. He has given new standing order number 96, which Senator Mutula Kilonzo has violated. Instead of following in the good practice that has been set, thanks to the intervention of Leader of Minority, you have allowed the Speaker who's on the floor to dismiss him so casually. Mr. Speaker, please do not allow this to pass. Make a determination on that point of order. Senator Mutula Kilonzo must either substantiate or withdraw.
And in my view, Mr. Speaker, a select committee would be the most suitable to do that. Already here is plenary, and plenary, all of us, other than listening, we are entitled to raise points of order. I can assure you the 67 of us, if we were to raise points of order in the intensity that our colleague Senator Murkomen is doing, and is entitled to do it, there would be no hearing in that plenary. That plenary will be charged, and I can assure you the senator from Migori is light-footed. He will rise frequently on point of orders. So nothing will be heard in that plenary. If we want to hear these people of Kirinyaga, and I believe they have a cogent case.
What is your point of order, Senator Murkomen?
The Speaker, I respect my colleague, Senator of Migori Ochilo Yako. I witnessed, Mr. Speaker, his second coming at the University of Nairobi. And we were in the same class. I was standing, he was seated. But Mr. Speaker, what is very important is that, Mr. Speaker, we should not allow the argument he's making, which is misleading, about a plenary proceeding that is not orderly. There will be point of orders. Mr. Speaker, there are rules already that have been applied in this House, twice in the two impeachments that happened in the plenary. And Mr. Speaker, you remember even in the Waiguru situation, there are no interruptions given to the lawyers to proceed and so forth. So he can make his argument for the committee, but Mr. Speaker, not also bastardize the whole procedure.
If the committee finds allegations substantiated, then the report will still come here and a vote will be taken. If the allegations are not substantiated, It was over. The report, it will be tabled, but there will be no further debate on the matter. It dies there.